So please welcome our guest this evening. Please give a massive warm round of applause, an absolute legend. Give it up for Roy Evans. Keep the applause going, it's a long way to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Roy, thank you so much for supporting Kick Off for Cancer. So just tell us a bit about you, Roy, and your journey and Liverpool and you.
Well, first of all, they didn't think I was a legend. And first of all, by the way, I hate that word. I'm one of them guys who has been in a job in the public eye, that's all. People call you celebrities and legends. For me, it's just a job. It's a great job, fantastic. A little bit about my career. I joined Liverpool in 1964. I played for England schoolboys, Lancashire schoolboys. Joined the club. And in my time, in my 35 years at Anfield, we won over 40 major trophies, which is fantastic, of course. Not because of me, seriously, not because of me. I wasn't the best player. I played 15 games in the first team, played 300 games in the reserves, but I was the best mascot they've ever had.
Playing with top players, managing top players. When you were manager, again, there was another long list of great Liverpool players there that you worked with. What was it like working with some of those big names? Because I think you brought Stan Collymore in, didn't you, when you were there? You know, you brought some names into that team. But what was that like for you? You mentioned that being a Liverpool fan, being in your club and being in control of that. What was that like for you?
I'm glad you mentioned Stan Collymore. That's great. Yeah, no, to be fair, I'm not saying we make mistakes. Some people say, who's your best signing, who's your worst signing? And sometimes I say, well, Stan Collymore was the best signing, 8.5 million world record at the time and whatever. For the first 12 months, Stan was fantastic. But then we couldn't get him to move down from Dudley. He wasn't turning up for training. All the things that are a pain in the arse for the manager. Excuse my language, but hey, Stan's a great player, great lad. But at the end of the day, for me, didn't fulfil what he really had to offer. He went from most of Aston Villa, he went down to Seville, still didn't produce that. When I bought him for the first year, I'd say he was great. Biggest part of your job as a manager is recruiting players. Some good, some bad, and you have to live with that. You don't coach, you manage people. You've got like Robbie Fowler, you've got like Michael Owen, you've got different people in the game. You have to treat them all differently. I mean, it's no different to any other business. You have to get the best out of people. It's man management. I don't have to teach technique. If they can't kick a ball, well, they're in the wrong business to start with. So it's all about how you treat them, how you get them into a team spirit. And we were really lucky to have a team that wanted to play the way I wanted to play, which is obviously attacking football, enjoying playing football. My last words, whenever they walked onto the pitch, were go out and enjoy yourselves. It's a game of football, for God's sake. Nothing more. Enjoy yourselves.
You mentioned at the top there about that expectation when you're Liverpool manager. There's that kind of responsibility. The whole city's eyes are on you. What was it like for you as a manager walking out at Anfield on a match day? Because, you know, we see these images on television of the players walking out of these tunnels, but Anfield's got a special atmosphere, isn't it? As you as a manager, following those players out, you've done as much as you can at that point. You're sending these players out, hoping they're going to execute what you want. Was it every time you walked out of that tunnel? Was there a hairs on the back of your neck moment every time the cops started cheering? What would that feel like as a manager to be in that position?
No, it's right. When you walk out, obviously, we've had great support over the years from our supporters. And yeah, on the back, and once you've had the week with the players and you spend that, once they get out there, for me, once they cross that line, they have to become the players. They have to make their own decisions in many ways. And years ago, by the way, I mean, talk about fans shouting your name. Now, when you've got a name like mine, which is Roy Quentin Eklund Evans, hey, the first time the crowds went, they went, there's only one Roy Quentin. Oh, fucking sack him, please. With a boy with a name like that, you've got a problem. So, no, it's the expectation of Liverpool fans is that you have to win things. And if you don't do that, I would say it goes against you. The only thing I would say in my time, everybody who started watching football said, I love watching your team because of the type of football that you played. Still doesn't live with me because we didn't win enough, but that is what football is all about.
Let's talk about some of the players you had in that squad. First of all, I want to ask about Michael Owen, because you gave him his debut and you kind of saw something with him at Liverpool. What was it about him when he was a youngster that you saw that made you think this boy's got something?
Yeah, Michael was obviously a really talented lad. Obviously a lot of pace. I got to the stage, Michael was 16, and at 16 you're still trying to probably keep people out of your team because you don't want them, it's a difficult game, you don't want them to get knocked down. But there came to a stage where you had to play him, and I put him in, and obviously he went on strength to strength. Great player. And fans are strange. I mean, Michael went to Real Madrid, then he came back and went to Newcastle, then Man United. And fans sometimes give Michael stick. What they forget is the 10 years service that he did give before he left. And that's why you've got to be really careful of it, I think, as a fan and whatever. Hey, Michael gave us 10 great years. Thank him for that. Football is a two-way business. It's cutthroat. Hey, as a manager, you can get the sack the next day, or you can be the greatest manager the next day. It just is a funny sort of world. Michael Owen, great. Robbie Fowler went there. McManaman went to Real Madrid. Would he have stayed if Gerard Houllier had stayed? Maybe he would. But football is changing world, and if somebody's, I think I'd always say to the fans, if somebody's given you 10 years great service, I think they deserve to be honoured.
For those who don't know, 1996, Liverpool played Man United at Wembley, and Liverpool walked out the tunnel in bright white Armani suits. A great little fashion statement. Was that your call, Roy?
Oh, steady now, calm down. Like anything else, yeah. Them days, Cup finals was about a players' pool, and players' pool meant that if you Armani offered you suits and give you 10 grand to put in the pot, and then somebody offered you sunglasses, put in the pot. You tried to make money out of the cup final, and people might say, well, them nowadays, like, why would you do that? There is so much money. Them days they weren't earning ridiculous amounts, but okay, it was a players' pool, and they put some into charity and they kept some themselves. David James got this deal with Armani, white suits, whatever. Hey. The staff didn't wear them. We all wore navy blue Armani suits, by the way. But if we'd have won, no one would give two monkeys about the white suits. On the day, it's probably one of the worst cup finals between two top teams that I can remember. Yeah, we got beat 1-0 by Cantona scored the winner. I left out a guy called Ruddock, Razor Ruddock. I left him out for what I thought were the right reasons. And maybe to this day, I still wonder, had he been playing, would he have stopped Cantona scoring a goal? We never know. But that's part of football. But it was probably the worst cup final from two top teams I've seen. But having said that, we lose, and what can you do about it? You made them decisions. That's football. Sometimes you win, and when you do win, it's fantastic. When you lose, it's not.
Best and worst stadiums?
The worst, yes. Southport. Wasn't that good, yeah.
Don't want that on a cold, wet Tuesday night.
Wasn't that good, yeah.
Best and worst players that you either played with or managed. Who is your best and worst?
Impossible answer, by the way. Obviously, I worked with so many great players. The odd one, and I bought one or two bad ones as well. Best players for me, I'd have to be going with someone. I mean, obviously they're all different positions. Tunis, Dalglish, people like that. I'd have to go down that road. Modern day player, I would go for Luis Suarez. I will watch Luis Suarez on the television, wherever he plays for. Worst player, I ever signed Sean Dundee. Sometimes you'd make a mistake, and I made a really big mistake with Sean Dundee. Shite isn't probably good enough for him, but that's
Fans' expectation, you just mentioned the special one. What about the normal one, Jurgen? He's still not won a trophy yet. Do you think he's the right man for Liverpool? Do you think he needs a good summer?
Yeah, he's come in, and to be fair, I liked a lot of things that he said. Obviously, if you're attacking, be a part of the attack. If you're not attacking, make sure you defend. I like a lot of things that he said, but in the 2 cup competitions, he played 9 kids. You've got to respect that. By the way, the cup competitions, be the FA Cup or the League Cup or whatever else you're in, you've got to respect them competitions. Try and win them, because as fans and as players, and you manage them. And Mourinho actually is delighted that he's won 3 trophies this year. But until you win those trophies, you can only be judged as everybody else is. And at this moment in time, he needs to get better.
Needs to respect the Champions League next year.
Well, he needs to. Obviously, we have to qualify. We have to do our little bit, whatever it is. Some players in football now will only come to your club if you're Champions League, and that gives us a better spectrum to see who we bring in. After that, of course, that will give us a better chance to win trophies at home and trophies away. But it's we put ourselves in a good position, and we can go forward from there. If I had one bit of advice to give him, and I think he will get backed by the owners, I think, which is a bit sad these days, that we always talk about owners. Years ago, it was about our clubs. It's not his money. Spend it. Don't be looking for potential, because we don't need potential. We need people that will win trophies for you now.
We appreciate your time. Thank you for coming down today, swapping off the cancer. Thank you for managing out today. And thank you so much for your time today as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, please go Mr. Roy Evans.
Can I just say, by the way, today has been a fantastic day. Danu organised it, whatever. It was great that so many people turned up. So, my team were full of pros who gave up their time. The lads who played in all the other teams. Brilliant day for a great cause, obviously. And of course, it wouldn't happen without all you people and the people of today that turned up. Fantastic day for the great charity. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.